All right, hello, welcome back, everyone, to episode session 23 of our Pathfinder 2e campaign.
Easter special.
It's our Easter special. Oh my god, yes, it is.
We're gonna find an
There's
egg.
actually 32 Easter eggs spread throughout this episode. If you can find them all, drop a comment, and
You
we'll
can win a prize.
you might
prize
win
is
£1
air
million.
from our lungs.
Not related to
We
the
will
contest,
bottle
but
the
you
air
might.
from our lungs, and we will send it to you.
Sponsored by Hero Forge.
In a video game.
Yeah, okay, well, amazing. Thanks for that sponsorship call out. Yeah, well, how's everyone doing? Good? Ready to play?
Good, I've got some
Yeah.
Earl Grey tea today.
Ooh, I've got some Coke Zero.
I've got a milk chocolate sticky toffee pudding egg.
I have unbranded stuff
I have Pepsi
because I'm not a
Max.
corporate shill.
Wow.
I
is that just
didn't list any
water?
brands.
Oh, I wasn't talking about Coca-Cola.
You are about to...
Need something to get you through the
Zero.
session.
Yeah, zero Coke. All something else. Caffeine.
You're
Caffeine,
just
yeah.
drinking
it's-
air.
It's calorie free, right?
Yeah, exactly. All right, so we might as well just get into it then. No Matt today. Being in Paris, a lovely, lovely romantic getaway. So in that case, let us begin. So last we left off, the party had been in Kelrius now for a few days, coming up to a week or so. After you arrived, you'd sort of gotten yourself in a bit of trouble quite quickly after meeting with the merchant prince Taran Els of Kelrius, who told you that he didn't really have the resources to help out the civil war at all, and unless there was some guarantee that House Ignis wouldn't jump on the opportunity to take Kelrius back, there was nothing he could do. So after speaking to him and sort of promising to him that you'd help him, you were led into the underside of the Holy Mountain that is outside Kelrius, where you discover that there's a secret lab underneath where Taran was building a clockwork dragon with the hopes of potentially using it as a secret weapon against the elves if they were to attack. However, Cyan decided that it was better for the dragon to die than live such an existence, considering the dragon's brain was from a real dragon who had been killed by elves and preserved. So you woke up the dragon to tell him, and it turned out that he did not have any intention of rolling over and dying. He wanted to take his revenge against the elf that killed him and his family and preserved his brain. The leader of House Kaidos, Daeron Kaidos, when he was a lot younger. So the dragon tried to escape, and Cyan got in a lot of trouble with the the police of the town. Merchant Prince Taran had him arrested, and was going to would have, if he was anyone else, had him executed for his almost treasonous sort of attempt to kill the dragon. However, he was protected by Cadell, the elf dignitary, who works for the Padrin of the elves, who said to Taran that the Padrin would be very gracious if he was to actually bring Cyan to the Emerald City for some reason. And yeah, so Cyan was sort of saved by Cadell, much to his detriment, or much to his dislike. What else happened? Oh yeah, you also got involved in some sort of like rebellious elf sort of group, where Cyan became known for his almost fake arrest, and he gained a lot of respect with the local elves who were in the city of Kelrius, and was invited to a secret meeting between the Brotherhood of Elves that was led by none other than Cyan's big rival. What's his name again? Hang on.
Yes, Ignis Duranda.
Duranda
Ignis.
Ignis. There we go. Yeah, I got it. So Duranda Ignis, having given a speech to the group, let Cyan know that his plan was ultimately to take over Kelrius, even if his father or the Padrin didn't know about it or didn't have any desire to do it. So he said to Cyan, "You are now working for me. One of my accomplices, who is going with you to the city, to the Emerald City with Cadell, will be in contact." So that's where you went off, and then just before, I think also Henning, you discovered the location of Vera's ship, and had the plan, and was beginning to make a plan on how you may want to go about gaining your revenge, especially because you saw them packing the ship up, preparing potentially to go on a voyage. Right, so you're all back at the Silverleaf Inn. The barkeep, Erinwin, is that her name? Yeah. Yeah, barkeep Erinwin, she's just maintaining the lower part of the bar as you're just sat about. Is there anything particularly you have a desire to do?
Cyan's gonna want to call everyone's attention over.
Okay.
You have my attention.
So, hello. I recognize our relationships as of right now is rather strained. I merely wanted to state something. I didn't intend any malice towards any of you. When he who shall not be named, I say eyeing the barkeep. I know she probably can't hear me right now.
Yeah,
But
she's just in her own world, humming and cleaning.
when he came to my village, he carted people away to be used as slaves. I can't let things like that happen. So, and I recognize that many of you, well, I say many of you, a lot of you tend not to share the same outlook that I have when it comes to these kind of matters. So I want to suggest a compromise.
Listening.
I will abandon the pursuit with the dragon. I will run every decision I have by each of you, ensuring that all of you are present for this decision. I will warn you of any and all actions I undertake, and I will help you with your personal matters. In return, if we find slavery and injustice, we are enemies of it. We don't allow its existence. We don't ignore it either. Or at least, you don't balk at me for refusing to ignore it. This is a matter that has intense personal significance to me, and quite frankly, no matter what you say, or quite frankly do, will actively stop me from stopping enslavement where I find it. You have to understand, the mission might be each of your priorities, but it is not mine. I am helping because it is the right thing to do, nothing more. I am here to undo everything he has done and ensure that others like him do not rise to power.
Well, as you say, as long as you agree to listen to us in the future, I'm sure that these can be agreeable terms amongst us all.
Plus, you've got to recognise there's a difference between letting something happen when you don't need to and just recognising when something's beyond your control. Or when it's just not a fight to be had. Live another day. If you die, if you get, whether that's on the block, in some dungeon, you can't do shit. You're dead. Got to consider everything else that you might be able to do with your life.
I understand that, and I know you were making a similar point before. But when it comes to enslavement, I can't. It's the only people who survived that day are people like myself who ran or were carted away as slaves. I can't. Any day, there could be another village and another child like me who has to wake up with that as the first thing you see and the last thing you think about each day, every day. It doesn't have to be every form of injustice. Poor people exist everywhere. And I understand there are some things that we as individuals can't do. But when it comes to matters like that, I can't just let it be.
Sure. I just feel like we're the Adventurers Guild and we're supposed to go on adventures. We're not the slave freeing society.
I mean, look, I've got no,
And I don't want you killing yourself just to free one person.
I died a long time. It's not something that I really care about anymore.
I got
And
no,
there are roll ties.
I got no sympathy for slavers. But we got to get our shit done too. Just weigh things up a bit. I'm not saying ignore it. I'm not saying just ignore it. I'm not saying can't do anything. I'm not saying you can't try. Just weigh things up a bit. Try and think it through. Don't just go off your heart.
That does lead to another matter. I aim to offer an alternative to the Padron when it comes to Durand Ignis, and I need to warn each of you beforehand.
Oh,
If-
oh god.
If the Padron acts, that will anger the people of Kaidas, as well as Ignis as well. And the people of Kaidas, well, like, am I wrong in thinking that the people of Kaidas make up most of the standing military for the Padron, or?
It's a large chunk of it, for
Yeah,
sure. Probably about a third.
and that's a civil war with them, as well as the Banking Guild, means that they won't be able to help us. However, he also poses a threat to our mission. So I was going to offer my services in being a non-partisan executioner, so to speak.
Make sure that he's not a martyr.
I won't. I'll make sure everyone knows what he is.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying, like, if they send, you know, if the Padron's Royal Guard marches in and arrests him, yeah, shit could go wrong. If it's an independent, well, it does risk, of course, drawing House Ignis or against us. But not between the elves. It's tricky.
It is tricky. That's why I'm hoping that if we get the Padron on board, Cadell could help us.
Now, are you going to accept anything other than his head?
No.
Even if it means other people living? Potentially thousands.
If it's the only way, he'll rot in the cell. If it's the only way.
I'm just thinking. Sounds like his constituents don't really, well, not his, no, his family, people he works with. Kind of sounds like they're not really too keen of what he's doing, or at least they wouldn't be if they knew about it. They're probably also not too keen about him getting assassinated. If we can get other people within House Ignis, yeah, his dad, his, I don't know, his siblings, his second cousin, his dog, whoever, get them on side, get them to see. Somehow, I don't know. This is obviously this is just the beginnings of, yes. This is the, you know, the twinkle in the milkman's eye of a plan.
That is the crudest way I've heard that said, and I'm going to use that from now on. That is brilliant.
What does that mean? Nix asks.
We'll tell you when you're older.
She's older than any of us. You know
But
that. Right?
Even older. But yeah, if we can get rid of him while not getting the rest of them, yeah, all in a tissy about it, that's the best case scenario. Agreed? Because whoever takes over our house, we still want them ships, right? And those aren't coming if we just go in there all stabby.
I've thought about that. Ignis isn't the only power in Adenira. There are other houses, other factions. Although lesser, if there is a power vacuum, they can fill it. We don't need Ignis for those ships.
I'm not sure.
We can engineer one's rise to power. Then we might have an even closer ally.
Anera, you know a lot about these, prissy royal types, right?
I've come into contact with a few.
Is it reasonable for a different house to take over? Or does it always have to come from within?
Mike.
Houses have fought each other a whole bunch. Like people conquer each other. People have all different houses have conquered each other historically, like all throughout the whole history of Adana. It's one of the ways the Emperor can sort of keep the Padrin can keep like order amongst them if they're all fighting each other.
I explain this.
I do think it's easier if it comes from within. Transfer of power, a bit smoother. Bit less mess, bit less fighting.
It's not going to be
Right.
fighting. We take him down quiet.
Well, I mean, if another house wants to come in and take over, it's gonna be fighting. It's gonna be war. That ain't short, and frankly, if war ain't needed, probably good to not have it, right?
I'm certain there are ways we can do both. I can't in good conscience let him live. I can in bad conscience if it's the only way, but Ignis is a monster. More so than anything else I've seen. To my knowledge, none of you have met the man.
Nah.
Pray that you don't. Now, Henning, you have a ship you want us to infiltrate.
Yes. I was hoping we would come to that. It's heavily guarded. Almost impossible to sneak on. Maybe worth coming and having a look with me. Then maybe we can come up with a plan.
I can have a look. I've scouted houses and places before. I did it with the guild hall. That's how I knew how to get in and out. I've done it with other houses when I needed something a bit pricier at hand to get myself through the month. I can have a look with you.
Yes, perhaps you'll see something that I haven't seen.
Anyone else coming with us, or?
Yeah. Yes.
Probably best I.
I'm not very sneaky though.
Oh, we're
We-
just
we-
going to have a look for now. We're not going to go on yet. I don't know.
Okay.
We need to have a look around, make sure we have entrances and exits, at least 2 exits. One for silence and one if it gets a bit hairy.
Or someone sets one of the exits alight. Looking at Henning.
Hey, look, I'll keep the fire to myself for this one.
It's in the water. It'll be fine, right?
Ah,
Not
yes,
when we're on
that's
it. But
Yeah,
yes,
I probably best sit this one out. I'm not exactly.
yeah,
I don't exactly blend in, even without the armor.
yeah. If we can find a way in while keeping our heads low, I think a small force of me and Henning, maybe even Hanira, could get on, but that depends. I don't want too large a group that we have to look after each of us when we can have a small incursion, get in, get out.
Remember,
And
always-
Hanira can make it invisible.
I could always stay a couple streets away.
I'll make one of you invisible.
Oh,
Actually, hold on. I don't know if that's true. I might be able to cast it. I don't really know how concentration spells work.
So there is no concentration in Pathfinder. You can generally you can technically have as many going as
there's
one.
sustain spells,
Sustain.
but you have to use an action every turn to sustain it. I think.
Yeah. But it is invisibility a sustained spell?
No. I don't think so.
No, it's not. So I could make up to 4 people invisible, but I would use all my spell slots.
If you save it for 2 of us, me and Henning, and then save your other 2 spell slots in case we need to make a quick getaway, so to speak.
Okay.
We could maybe maybe Panera and I could maybe hang out in a nearby street.
In case
Come
things
running
get
if
violent.
yeah, come running if things hit the fan.
That seems fine with me.
So your plan is to sneak onto the boat.
We're gonna scope it out a bit. Just see if we can find entrances and exits.
Okay, fine. So who of you are going? All of you?
I mean, I think it's me, Henning, and Hanira are gonna scope it out, and then me and Henning are gonna sneak in after Hanira makes us
Okay.
invisible.
Cool. All right.
Yeah, and then I think Hening and sorry, Hanera and Calcifer will sort of stick in a nearby street when the actual event occurs.
Okay, cool. All right. So are you planning on heading off tonight?
I think so.
Okay.
No point in wasting any time.
Okay. So are you bringing your adventuring equipment with you?
Yeah.
All right. So you begin to make your way across the town of Kelrius, in the journey that you made a couple of times now, over to the East Harbour. And as you pass through the main part of the docks, and begin to go to the outskirts of the city by the walls of the docks, you find the old abandoned lighthouse, which is situated just behind Isvira's ship. A small stone walkway leading along the side of the wall leads up to the boat, and it's moored to it there. From your position over here, you can see that there's a few people on the ship moving things around. I think they're sort of beginning to come to potentially the end of their preparation for the journey, so they might be leaving in the next day or 2. That's what you can see from quite far away. You can attempt to get closer if you want.
Yeah, let's get a little closer.
Okay. Any preparation before you head closer?
Henning, you might want to pass me some of that venom you've got for my
Oh yes.
sword in case I need it.
Yeah, I've already prepped that for today, so I'll give you a giant scorpion venom. And
Okay.
I'm also going to pass you and Calcifer an elixir of life. Lesser.
Cheers.
Cheers. I'm gonna grease my blade then in the venom.
Okay. What does the venom do?
It is so it's a DC 22 fortitude. It has 3 stages. First stage is 1d10 poison and enfeebled, and then it goes up to 2d10 for the
Okay.
other 2 stages.
Cool.
Is a lesser healing elixir the same as a healing potion? Is it different?
It's just
I
called an elixir of life.
Yeah, I think elixirs might be different in the rules slightly.
I think the difference is you get a saving throw bonus for disease and poisons. That's the only difference, but yeah, it's basically 3d6 plus 6 hit points for an elixir of life lesser.
Nice.
Cool, got it.
Okay. So is it just Cyan and Henning that are heading on a bit further?
Yeah.
Do you want me to make you invisible?
Yes, please.
Cool. Last
Okay.
for 10 minutes.
So you wave your hand, and a dash of a rainbow magic flits around them before fading, and the sort of cloak almost descends around them, which renders them invisible. So, yeah, both of you who are now invisible, you are undetected to the people on the ship. You're undetected already, but
Is there a way we can keep track of each other?
Not
Yeah,
easily.
Right. Sign's gonna suggest we hold hands for a little bit.
Henning gives you, well, you can't see it, but he gives you a very odd look that goes, okay, fine, but we don't talk about this.
Okay, so walking hand in hand down the street, you eventually. How close are you going to get to Vera's ship then?
I'll leave that one up to Sign because they're the
As
scout.
close as we can get to get a close idea as to how we can get in and out. Like, is there like several I don't know doors,
There's
things on the ship?
so the main way onto the ship is from one central gangplank, which is a long plank of wood, which is sort of moored up onto the side of this stone wall that goes across the bay. And on the other side of the ship, it's attached to a bunch of rocks next to the lighthouse. So this is really the only way onto the ship, and there's a couple of people sort of stood near the gangplank itself, just chatting amongst each other. A couple of sailors. Henning, you recognise them, although you don't quite remember their names, but they were on the original journey that you definitely recognise. One of them smoking a pipe, and the other one sort of just looking out at sea, throwing rocks into the water. There is obviously like rigging as well, like mooring rope attached to the ship as well. So if you wanted to have another entrance onto the ship, you could potentially climb across the mooring rope and then climb onto the ship that way.
I'm gonna suggest that way to Henning.
Okay.
Obviously it's a little bit more dangerous, but unless I get Nix to distract them over there, I doubt we're gonna have another way in.
Okay, fine. I'll trust you.
Okay, let's go climb that rigging then.
Okay, so the rigging leads to the front of the ship. Is that the stern? I don't remember. Matt's not here, so
Matt would know.
yeah, he's not able to correct me. But you so as you approach that, can you both do a stealth check for me, please? They're not actively looking for you at the moment, but it will just reflect and make it blind GM roll.
Okay, do we get any bonuses for being invisible? Sorry.
So you are
It's paused. I can't open my character sheet. There we
yeah,
go.
I'll pause it for you. Invisible. Yeah, no, it just makes you undetected to everyone. So, like, if you were just to walk around normally, you'd be detected. So it just
I
basically
need to
gets rid of that.
reopen Forge for some reason. It wasn't letting me open my character sheet, and then I refreshed, and now I'm on the login.
Okay, fine.
Downloading world data.
Because the way that invisibility works and the sort of how visibility works, there's like different stages to how much people sort of recognize you. So there's detected, and then you have undetected, which is sort of, you know, they know that maybe someone's out there, but they just don't know who. And then there's like unnoticed, I think, as well.
Right. Okay.
So unnoticed is like they just don't know you exist, and then undetected is like they can tell that someone's moving around them. But because you'll be stealthing as well whilst doing this, so this is what the stealth check's for. Okay, so you sneak up to the rope, and you notice that at least on that part of the ship that it attaches to, across the main sort of figurehead mast type thing, there doesn't seem to be any one posted guard on that front bit of the ship. So you could attempt to cross the rope. That would be probably an acrobatics check, I imagine, because it's sort of a balance. One at a time, or both together, or how are you going to do this?
Maybe one at a time.
Yeah, one
So
out
we
of
don't knock each other off. I guess Henning should go first because he's more likely to fall off at this point. So, do you want me to do that blind?
No. That will be an acrobatics check. Just roll it in the open.
Ah, thank God.
What did you get?
A 20.
A 20. Okay, yeah, that's probably enough.
All right, and now I'm gonna do it.
This is when it all goes wrong.
27.
27, fine. Henning, you're a bit wobbly on there, and you're sort of crawling, maybe more like a koala hanging off the bottom of it than like crossing it as a slack line. But you do manage to crawl up the ship and eventually clamber onto the more stable other side. And then Cyan, you just sort of dash across, almost like 2 or 3 steps, quite easily.
How much of this ship will Henning remember the layout of? Spend quite a while on here.
Yeah, I think you probably remember most of it. So, I mean, there's only a few layers to the ship. You know, below you'll have a lot of the crew quarters, and then maybe the captain's quarters as well. Then you have some storage, and then you'll have like food storage and stuff.
Cyan's gonna whisper. They have captain's rooms, right? Maybe we should check there first.
Yes, if it's going to be anywhere, it'll be in there.
Okay. So you begin to sneak across the deck of the ship. As you sort of begin to pass the main mast, you notice that there's someone snoring just below you, like just propped up against the mast, clearly attempting to keep watch slightly. And the 2 people at the by the gangplank are talking quite loudly. You know, one of them saying to the other, "Oh man, I only see her once every couple of months, and I kind of feel like she's got someone else." And he's like, "Nah, whatever, man. You'll be alright."
Savage bitch.
So, sort of sneaking over that guy, Henning, you begin to sort of step on quite loud, creaky planks. A couple of the people around sort of prop their head up and begin to look around. One of them, by the gangplank, says, "What was that?"
Can I send Nyx as some kind of animal, kind of nearby but away from us, just kind of messing with the floor a bit?
Yeah. Okay, so
Like
next,
like a cat or something?
yeah, sure. Next vanishes from next to you and appears as a cat at the corner of the deck, and she just begins to try and tear at the floorboards, causing them to creak quite loudly. And one of them runs up the gangplank and points over and says, "Hey, it's a fucking cat!" and tearing up the ship. And Nyx is just sort of. The other one dashes up the gangplank and goes straight for Nyx, and says, "Get off that!" and tries to pick her up. And as he kneels down, Nyx sort of goes limp, and he picks it up, and then Nyx starts purring.
Right, go.
Ah!
Okay, so you both of you are going to dash sort of down to the lower decks.
Yeah.
Okay. As you're sort of going across the deck again, you hear one of the sailors saying to the other, "Oh, so cute," and Nyx is just going "Meh," as you walk through. You begin to descend then through the lower part of the deck. There's a sort of main storage, like there's a little bit of a storage area, and then there's like a main corridor that goes off to a whole bunch of cabins quarters. So there's the sort of the front half of the ship. It's one large room that has maybe 20 or 30 hammocks dangling from the ceiling. Quite a lot of them have sailors in them sleeping. Maybe about 15 sailors are sleeping in there. And one person is sort of, well, a couple of people are sat off to the side with a little oil lamp, and they're playing a game of cards, sort of murmuring to each other and just drinking. Up ahead, it looks like more officers' quarters, and then the captain's quarters at the end of the row. And then there's another staircase that goes down.
Where to?
Well, can Heading just sort of head toward where he knows the captain's quarter is?
Yeah, that's towards the end of the row.
Are we still
alright.
holding hands?
Yeah, I guess Henning is holding your hand to guide you along. Yes.
Okay. After a while, Nyx reappears by your side. Got them.
Nice one. I would high five you, but I don't know where. But you probably don't know where I am.
It's okay. I can see you.
Awesome.
So you get to the end of the hallway, and there is a sort of a door that has a sort of sigil on the front of it. It's a sigil you don't quite recognize. It looks more. It kind of looks like a bit like a kraken of some sort. But either way, as you open the try and open the door, you recognize this as Vera's cabin, like her quarters. As you try to open the door, it's locked.
Damn it! You got a lockpick.
I can try. It's not really my area of expertise, but I can
What do
have
you
a go.
mean? You're a thief. How do you not know how to use lockpicks?
I pickpocket. I don't. Shush.
Oh, just give it a go.
You hear
I-
a snore coming from right next door, and there's one of the officer's doors is like hinged open, and you see that sleeping in that bed is one of it's Devo, I think. So Devo is the cook that you saw at the market earlier, the other day. He's got this like big bushy beard and a scar above his left eye in the light, but he's sort of like half almost been awoken by your conversations and sort of like stepping on the thing. So he seems almost awake.
I'm gonna give him like a little tug towards his oar to kind of say, yeah, I'm gonna try pick the lock.
Okay.
Is
Yeah,
that
yeah.
a thievery check?
That will be yes.
So public or?
Yeah, roll it public.
20.
20. You get the first stage, so it seems to be like a multi-layered lock. So yeah, as you begin to pick it, you feel like one set of pins prick. So you've got another roll to do now. See if you get this.
Okay. Alright. Come on. High rolls. 23.
Yeah, 23. That's the second one as well.
And one more.
Oh no, that's fine. It's just best of 3. After a moment, you hear the whole door lock, and the door begins to hinge open. As it opens, notice that there is a sort of oil lamp on inside the room. Although when you peer around the door, there's no one sat by the table. It looks like someone had been there a little while ago. Maybe has gone since.
Come on.
But it's a quite well decorated room. There's a lot of like velvet and sort of velvet red sash sort of stuff all up on the walls. The bed itself is like a 4-poster bed. She's got like a couple of like dress mannequin kind of things with like really like half fashioned dresses that she's been tailoring as like a hobby. There's a whole like she's got a desk full of books and papers and stuff. And then she's also on the far side of the room got this sort of like locked trunk that looks like it might have something valuable in it.
Okay. Can you get the trunk open? Or find a key or something?
I'm gonna try and you try and find a key. I'll pick the lock.
Fine, I'll look for the key. It's gonna have a
Alright.
look around for the key.
And I'm gonna try and pick it.
Okay, you're looking for the key for the chest.
Yeah.
All right, make a perception check for me, please.
Yars.
And then you do a lockpick for me. So
31.
14.
all right, so Hening, yeah, you begin to have a look around. It's quite hard to know where she would have kept it. Chances are she probably has got it on a chain somewhere that she carries with her. Cyan, however, as you begin to unlock it, you do manage to unlock this first level of the chest. Yeah, give me another roll, please.
Come on, Simon.
Alright. 26.
Okay, 26. Yes. The final lock clicks, and the chest opens. You notice that there's a sort of almost parcel over a bunch of clothes. And and the parcel's got like a small diary kind of thing attached to it. That has had some writing put on it.
I'm gonna pass that up to Henning.
Is it wrapped? So it's a parcel, so it's wrapped.
Yeah, it's like there's something wrapped in a bunch of paper. It seems like sort of like.
I guess
brown
you'll
paper.
try and open it.
Okay. Well, do you want to have a look at what the writing is on
Okay,
top?
yeah. What's the writing?
Okay, this is what it says.
Hang on, just give me a second to read that. Nothing about the book. It's like to do with some glass that they found on a shipwreck. Keep looking, we need to find this book. Or, I'm assuming that he's going to probably just assume the glass is in this package, but he'll keep the package anyway.
That's in there.
Yeah, he'll keep the package.
Alright, I'm gonna have a quick look around to see if I can find anything that might look like this book.
Mm-hmm.
Henning's going to keep looking as well, because obviously he knows what it looks like.
Okay. Yeah. Both of you make perception checks for me, please.
Alright, not good at these, but let's have a go. 19?
And 22.
22. All right. So Henning, you find another sort of letter that is also to Cohen. That is like a reply. But it seems to be from a letter before. And it basically says along the lines of, "Thank you for the delivery of the book. I will make sure to search its pages for anything valuable to our cause in terms of alchemy." And
She
this is
sold it.
yours truly, Cohen.
She sold it to someone called Cohen.
This letter's saying that he's in Port Edrin.
Fuck.
We just came from Port Edrin.
Fuck. Well,
Right.
try and
So
find
we've
where this
got-
ship's going. I don't want to lose them.
It's going to Port Edrin.
Perfect.
Also in the trunk.
Oh, yes. Perfect.
Right, we should get the fuck out of here.
Yes, we should. What's considered a hostile action? Would knocking over a candle be considered hostile?
If you're making like an attack roll or casting a spell,
What if it's just pushed over?
yeah, I think you can knock things over without.
He's just going to casually knock over the candle so it lands somewhere flammable.
Okay.
What the f are you doing?
A bit of revenge before we leave.
Are you taking the package with you?
Oh, yeah, he's
Yeah.
taking the package with him.
Okay.
And it's a distraction.
Right. The
okay.
candle falls over and a bit of oil spills out. Well, a bit of wax spills out from the bottom. The one of the red velvet sashes that is attached to the wall begins to catch fire quite quickly.
Okay, now we need to leave, Cyan.
Right.
Like literally within a few seconds, it's just like the whole back wall has just caught fire now. So you begin to make your way out of the.
Like, pronto.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. So you dash right up to the front, the deck of the ship again. As you notice a couple of the guards sort of gawking at the smoke that's now, someone goes over and just begins to ring a bell. A few of the sailors begin to wake up and shout. As you're sort of stood there, like the whole back of the ship is beginning to be on fire. People are.
And I
beginning to
imagine
run
they're
buckets.
all looking in our direction.
Oh, but they can't see you.
Right, okay. Right.
Yeah, you've caused enough chaos that they're not really looking for invisible people right now.
All right, let's
Right.
get out of here. We can
Yeah.
watch this from afar.
The ship is on fire, but what if there's someone invisible around?
Yeah, exactly.
Who are you?
Priorities,
Ghost.
guys.
I just, like I would have thought, like, as we're coming down, they might, like, run down the stairs and bump into us or something.
No, because you managed to get out really before people started waking up. Like you got back onto the
Okay.
deck of the ship by then, and then that's really when the smoke started to get noticed. So you take your opportunity to leave quite promptly, managing to find a way down the gangplank again. or it's no problem. And we are reunited with Henera and Calcifer.
The book's gone. It's back in Port Edron.
Can hear a bit of shouting going on. What'd you do?
Oh, may have knocked over a candle in a very flammable room. Oops.
Just letting everyone know, it wasn't my fault this time.
This time it was me.
God.
But it created the
should get out
distraction
of
we
here.
needed to get out.
Let's leave.
Alright.
And
We
talk
should
about
probably
this
leave before the
later.
guards come.
Yeah.
Right, I think the Orcish word is skedaddle.
I think that's everyone's word, actually.
As you
Oh.
turn to leave, you see by the docks the whole back of the ship. After the fire begins to reach the basement part, there's an explosion, and the whole back of the lighthouse is lit up with a bit of a flame.
Oh no.
Sorry, can you just repeat that last bit? Sorry, my thing.
The whole back of the ship explodes, and a fireball rings out. You see a few people jumping off the ship into the water, and you see a number of silhouettes by the stone walkway, blown off their feet. One of them seems to be Vera. She stands and turns with her face sort of like half burnt, sort of shouting into the air.
Sorry, so they're quite close to us.
Well, they're probably about 100 meters away. You're just watching from a distance.
Oh, right, yeah, okay. Yeah, sorry. Henning just kind of starts laughing maniacally.
Right, we need to get going before they pin this on us.
Do we have to leave? This is glorious to watch.
Yes, we have to leave, because then the guards might come and then decide that this is our fault.
I don't know how they'd reach that conclusion, but fine. We have been in a bit of trouble lately. So I suppose, yes, they would probably try and blame us.
Yeah, that's like I said, skedaddle.
Let's get
Yeah.
out of it. I'll enjoy this. I'll enjoy the sounds of screaming on the
Okay, yeah. You can probably guess that at least a few of the crew have died from that. You don't know quite who. Right, so you arrive back at the Silverleaf Inn after a interesting night, and what do you feel like doing? Getting some rest?
Need to buy a lock. Would anywhere be open?
Not at this time of night, but
Okay,
maybe
I'll
tomorrow.
go in the morning.
Yeah. So
Right.
Go to the next day.
Should we think about leaving tomorrow? Like,
Do we want
go
to
and
look
go.
at this parcel, by the way?
Oh, yeah.
Apparently has some expensive glass in it. Henning just starts opening it up.
Okay. So you begin to open up. It's got like brown paper packaging all around it, almost like it's just trying to keep it safe. And then it has like this sort of red cloth bag with a black sash pull thing around it that you open up. And as you pull it out, it looks exactly what they said it looks like. It looks like a sort of black polished shard of a mirror. Maybe about 6 inches long, like almost the size of a very large arrowhead, kind of ballista head type thing, but angled in loads of different ways. And but the material itself looks almost hypnotic to look into. Like as you sort of hold this up to the light of the inn's torches, you see that almost the light is reflected and bounces around the inside of it and causes all these like magical sparkly kind of colors. And as you begin to peer into it even more, you begin to see almost like a fog, like a mist inside it, which begins to clear away, and you see on the other side of it, almost like a little portal, a forest full of dead trees
Earth is this?
that goes on for miles and miles and miles.
Do the dead trees look like the gloom trees? Or...
Yes, it does.
Is this a portal to the gloom?
Or
anyone wanna
scrying, maybe?
Maybe. Does anyone want to try and put their hand through it?
Anera, you're good with gloom stuff.
Okay, fine.
Henning just hands it to you. There you go.
Put my hand through it.
Your hand doesn't go through. It's solid.
Okay.
You can just peer through it.
Oh.
And as you touch it and you begin to look through it and sort of tap the glass, suddenly the whole thing goes red, like the mist inside goes red, and you see like a black silhouette of like a sort of very thin, monstrous creature with like loads of tendrils behind it. And a shield for a face that like flashes up.
So like the one I saw in my dream.
Yeah. And you sort of almost feel like a connection with the mirror. And you can feel it in your hand. It talking to you, and it says, "I see you," and you just sort of drop it on the floor.
Spooky. It said it sees me.
What sees you?
The spooky shield monster.
Did we see the spooky shield monster?
Yeah, you saw it go red as well, but you didn't quite see what was inside it.
The one I had a
Is-
dream about ages
Is-
ago.
Did we
Is
hear
the
it?
spooky shield monster in the room with us now?
Casper just
No.
peers down at his shield.
Are you doing this, by the way, downstairs in the?
I think we've
over
gone
the
into
bin?
our room, surely.
Yeah.
Okay,
It
yeah.
doesn't
alright.
seem like
I
the
would
kind
hope
of thing
so,
to be
yeah.
flashing out in
Like-
the middle of
Yeah,
public after.
We're not the
a check.
brightest group, but smart enough to know not to do that.
Understandable. Okay, so you're in your room. Yeah. As you sort of one by one pick it up, pretty much all of you are seeing this like vision of the gloom. And then Hanira, once you pick, if you get the bravery to pick it up again, the vision doesn't come back. Almost just seems to be like a little window that you can peer into. Like as you like, sort of hold it around and look around, it's almost like like a kind of augmented reality thing where you look through it and it's like you're placed into a scene in the gloom, almost at the same point. So like as you're looking around you, the room and peering through the mirror, it looks like you're looking at the sort of a woodland all around you in 360 degrees.
Hanira, I think maybe you should talk to Kadal about all of this.
Okay, I'll talk to him when we see him next.
He knows about the gloom more than we do.
Yeah, I know.
If that's the gloom, like you talked about before, say the gloom will sort of exist like on top of everything else, right? Sort of superimposed.
I think so.
What if when you look through that, that's whatever is here, but in the gloom?
What if that is evil Hanira? The shield-faced monster thing.
Yeah, maybe I have
Henry
an evil
riffing.
twin.
Right, I'll pass it here a sec. So like pick it up and like hold it up, like looking at Hanira through it.
Yeah, it just goes through Hanira and you just see nothing except for the trees behind.
Just like move it around to each person, including Nyx.
Yeah, no. Actually, interestingly, when you pass it over to Nyx, there is almost like a black silhouette where Nyx is,
Ah,
like almost like interacting with the vision.
Nyx, it's like you've got a shadow or something.
Huh?
It's like you're here, but then in the gloom, you got a shadow. Just like look at Nyx. Does Nyx have a shadow?
No, not really. No, you've never seen her have a shadow.
Yeah, I always thought it was something a bit off with you, but yeah, that's it. You've got no shadow.
I mean, I only really managed to be able to help her manifest here after we visited the gloom.
Huh.
Maybe she's more powerful over there. There's some things I can do as well. So, there's some connection there. but maybe Nyx is in the gloom and also here?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. A little bit of both.
The best of both worlds.
Well, not sure if not sure what to do with this, to be honest.
Maybe take it to. I'd say take it to Cadell. Cadell would know about it.
Yeah, I mean, we'll be seeing him. Always ask. Though there's going to be that other guy coming, right?
Speaking of Henning,
Yes.
I might need your help with that.
Right.
See, the person coming to meet me doesn't like humans very much.
Okay.
He said Ignis said that he will make himself known, but I'm thinking that we can come up with some sort of plan to trap him. Maybe sell him some misinformation.
Hmm.
He's going to be questioning why I have humans helping me, or why I'm helping humans. And specifically why I'm helping a Trisfair who doesn't really get on with Ignis or Kaidas.
Interesting. Well, you helped me, I'll help you. It's only fair. You just let me know what you need me to do.
I'll think of something.
Okay. So you're gonna get some rest then, are you?
Yeah.
All right. Skip to the next day. The day blooms with the buzz of elves in the area. There seems to have been maybe another meeting at some point. And there's a brief sort of rebellion / riot that spawned not that far away from Jarl in the night. It only lasted about an hour or so before the guards moved in and cleared the streets down. But there's now as you wake up, you hear that there's a gathering of protesters who are shouting about an elf who was injured and arrested in the night, similar to Cyan. So it's a bit busy.
Well, I can't say I like the Brotherhood and their mission, but hey, they're looking out for the elves here.
I suppose.
Why the elves don't just move? There's plenty of other elf territories around.
It's sacred. It's not about that. This place is important.
Hi, Erin Wynn says.
Oh, hello.
She says, if we were to move, then this place would be forgotten by elves, whilst it has been owned by us for generations, thousands of years back. We have more right to this place than the humans. No offense.
None taken.
It would be like if a group of elves went over and fought Dalron, I imagine. Claimed it as elven.
The humans use as their casus belli the history of the Sidon people and their historically warlike nature. But none of us asked for war. None of us asked for the humans to arrive here.
Well,
Sorry.
we have things we need to get done.
Very well. I would stay away from the hotspots if you do not wish to get involved.
That would probably be best. As much as I had my brief stint of injustice. I think it's safer for us all if we, as Calcifer put it, skedaddle as quickly as possible.
Well, I just wouldn't want an ally of the cause to get injured before your mission is due.
Of course. And I'll see that it is completed to the letter.
Very well, brother. When are you planning on leaving, by the way?
Fairly soon. Maybe today? Depends on the rest of you lot. What do you guys think?
I'm ready to go.
Fuck it out.
Yeah, just waiting on him, really.
Yeah, that's true. As soon as Cadell's ready to go.
Okay. So in that case,
I want to buy a lot.
yeah. So right, what last little bits does everyone want to do whilst they're in town? So a lock. Do you know how much they are?
So, the average lock, which is level 3 item, is 15 gold.
Oh yeah, that's fine. That's a level 3. Yeah, that's within the bounds of the city's level. You find a good locksmith somewhere who sells one of the most average locks that you've ever seen.
Oh my god, it's so average.
So average. Hey,
That's
it's
so
above
much of my
average.
gold.
I would like to purchase. Arrows come in bundles of 20, right?
Yes, I think so.
I'd like to purchase 20 arrows.
Okay.
How much are they? Let me just check.
Arrows, what? They're just regular arrows. One
They're
silver.
1 silver
Yeah, 1 silver.
for a bundle of 20.
Oh, 10 for 10. Sorry.
Okay, I'll do 2 silver then.
Okay.
Why don't just do a copper each?
Yeah, it's a copper each, basically.
I guess they might get a bit annoyed if you just come in and purchase like 2 arrows.
Yeah. Also, it might be more expensive if you buy them individually. They're actually 2 copper each.
I might
Really?
also get some healing potions, if that's okay.
Okay.
Are we level 6 now?
You are.
Oh, I can't afford a 1250 gold piece healing potion. I'm just gonna get 1 lesser healing potion, if that's okay.
Okay.
I mean, you can. Just saying, I can give them to you for free.
Okay, I won't do that.
Just saying, that's kind of a spit in the face of Henning. It's like, well, I guess mine aren't good enough.
I mean, they do taste a bit weird.
Well, you taste weird.
Don't they only last for a day?
Yeah, but I can just make them again.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
No, it's up to you if you want it.
there was this one healing potion I tasted back in Borghedron. Tasted like strawberry.
I can try and flavour them for you if you'd like.
I mean, it wouldn't hurt.
Alright,
Unless it
That's
does.
how-
I mean, I'm
that's
not an
how
alchemist.
lavender-
So.
Do you do lavender flavored?
if you bring me some
Okay.
lavender, I guess I can throw lavender into it, yes.
That'd be brilliant. I love lavender.
I don't think that would harm the concoction. I don't think. Well, guess we'll find out.
Just
Might make
use-
us a little bit
it could make
sleepier.
it could make it highly toxic and horrific. Find out.
Well,
Um,
then we know we've got a poison.
exactly.
My mum
Um,
used to make lavender tea, and it made me feel very sleepy.
What I'll probably say is, from now on, I'm probably going to give everyone 1 elixir of life every day, every new day.
Oh, can you
Do
do that
those
many?
disappear at the end of the
Actually,
day?
what I'll do is I'll give them to Cyan and Calcifer at the start of the day from now, because they're the ones taking most hits in combat. But obviously, I can just give them out if I need to.
Do those disappear at the end of the day?
They do, but assume I'm just going to give you a new one at the start.
Okay.
Right, so unless stated otherwise from now on.
Unless
just
stated
assume we
otherwise,
get-
I'm just going to give you one. Yeah.
Cool.
Same with the giant scorpion for Cyan. I'm just going to give him one at the start of the day.
Is it a lesser elixir of life?
Yeah, it's a lesser.
Is that for
but-
everyone?
Well, I can't make enough for everyone in one batch, so I'll have one.
Boo.
Well, I can make more in the combat. I'm just giving it to those two because they seem to get hit the most.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Boo.
Boo. But no, I'll yeah, just assume that from now on. And yeah, like I say, I'll give
And it's
one. I'll
Giant
give one
scorpion.
scorpion. Actually, I'll give you two at the start because there's no point. I'll give you two at the start of each day. Okay, cool. That's just okay. All right, cool. Carry on.
So, lock acquired, potions sorted out. Any last bits?
Henning just wants to take a short walk over to the East Harbour just to see the remnants of the ship, if there are any, if is anything left.
All right, are you gonna stealthily do it?
I mean, he's just gonna walk, kind of do it how he's done it for the last couple of days. Just sort of let
Okay.
you walk over. Look from a distance. He's not gonna go right up to it. But...
Fine. Yeah, sure. Right. Make me a perception check.
19.
Okay, you notice that there's a couple of ships that have moored alongside it. It's sort of half grounded itself. The water there is not necessarily deep enough for it to sink all the way to below, but it's sort of half grounded itself by the rocks. It's fallen onto them, and it's pretty much flooded. So the ship's out of action. As you're standing there watching, you can't quite make out any casualties. Most of the bodies have been pulled away by now, and most of the people who are just standing there gawking probably weren't part to do with the ship. They're just locals.
Okay. That's fine. So I suppose in Henning's head, he's delayed them leaving for Port Edron for now, at least.
Yeah.
So they'll be stuck here for a while longer. Okay, cool.
As you are standing there, you feel a tap against your back.
Can I feel heat?
No, you turn around and you see two men carrying sort of meat cleavers. One of them is Evo, the large burly man with the bushy beard and a scar above his left eye. He's also wearing a chef's apron that's sort of singed. And you see Con as well, who's the ship's quartermaster, and the person who pushed you overboard, Hening, who's like a lean, wiry man with a tattoo of a serpent on his left forearm. He's carrying like a rapier, and he's pointing it at your back, saying, "Don't make a move now."
Ah. Con. How are you?
The captain suspected you had something to do with this. Coming back to see the view of the scene of the crime, eh?
No, I just heard that there was commotion here last night. I wanted to come see.
Right. Make a deception check for me.
Perception.
Deception.
Oh, decep.
Is
Oh,
that a
sorry.
thing?
I
I
think
think so.
Yeah.
Yep.
perception is a thing. It's not Henning's thing, but
Ooh, it
22.
is today.
Okay. You can you suspect that Con doesn't really believe you. That being said, you say he sort of raises an eyebrow. He says, "That being said, the captain wishes to see you. Now knowing that you're in Kelrius on important business."
yes, on very important business, may I add, under the protection of those in Port Edron. So be very careful with what you do.
Aye. She will take your interests in mind. And he points the rapier into your back. All right, let's get a move on, shall we?
Fine. I suppose I don't have much of a choice.
Debo goes and sort of grabs your weapons off you, and then binds your hands together, and then they begin to lead you through the town.
When you say they've taken the weapons, so they've taken the musket and any potions I might have had, but do they know about the like my reagent stuff? Like, would they actually take that?
No,
Okay,
they
so-
don't really know much about you.
Okay, so I do have some way of making something. Okay.
So Con, as he's walking you through the city, he's got his rapier out, and it's pointed at your back, but he's sort of like masking it with the rest of his body, so he's really up close to you. He says, "Now, I'm rather twitchy today, so don't make any sudden movements."
Okay. You've got my cooperation.
So I figured no one could survive a drop like that, and yet you've washed aboard.
I'm a surprisingly strong swimmer. He says very sarcastically.
Aye. Well, I figured that those skills may come in handy soon.
Oh?
Just listen out what the captain asks of you. I think you might find it convincing. All right, so you go up. I assume you you don't have the glass thing on you, the mirror?
No. He would have left that.
Yeah, you left that.
In
Okay,
the-
that's somewhere safe. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
All right, so you're led into a sort of underground basement by a inn that has a few people sort of sat in there. It's quite awkward. Like a few of the crew members you notice looking up at you and scowling at you.
Now, no need for that.
You're led through this sort of burly kind of underground bar until you are taken to the back of it, where there is another office similar to the one on the ship. This seems to be Vera's home away from home, and her sort of fallback office. And she's sat looking with a bit of a scowl on her face, quite comfortably in a chair. She's got a sort of like tricorn hat on, kind of half pointed down, so you can't really see like her eyes very well. But she's scowling at you, and she sort of looks up as you enter.
Ah, Vera, you wanted me.
We got him for you, Captain. He wasn't that hard to find. She looks up and she reveals that like half her face has kind of been half burnt away.
Ooh.
And there's like a whole bunch of bandages sort of attached to it, and she's kind of half bleeding through them.
Ooh, that looks nasty.
She looks up at Con. Thank you, Con. You can go now. Con sort of looks at you and says, "Are you sure?" And she says, "Yes, I'm sure. Go." So Con says, "All right, ma'am." Turns around and leaves. Devo, however, stays in the corner of the room and closes the door. And he sort of sits you down on a chair.
Thank you. Now, how can I help you?
She says, "This to do with you?" She points to her face.
Why would that have anything to do with me?
Don't be silly. We had people around who saw you traveling through these docks last night.
That doesn't mean this was me.
Very suspicious.
I can see how you'd think it would look suspicious. I can assure you, though, I had nothing to do with this.
She stands up. Well, I have to say, Hening, that I am strangely surprised to see you here in Carius.
Oh, why's that? Because you threw me over the ship and tried to drown me?
I do now see that as a mistake. If I had known what your skill sets were, I would have been much more inclined to save you.
Where's my book?
She turns from you and sort of like stares out of one of the windows that sort of looks over the harbour. She turns around and says, "That thing, just some guy in Port Edrin flogged it to you."
Flogged it. You realize that book was priceless, you fool.
I know what it was worth.
I hope you got enough for it. But don't worry, I'm sure I'll find it.
She looks over at you and says, Do you know what I love about the sea, Henning?
What's that?
It's unforgiving. It doesn't care about your pain, your suffering, or your pathetic attempts at revenge. It just takes and takes until there's nothing left. She takes a step closer to you. Just like I'm going to take everything from you.
I see. Well, you already tried that once.
I did. And you know what? I don't regret it. Not one bit.
I imagine you don't.
It's because you were weak, Henning. You let us overpower you. You let us throw you overboard like a sack of potatoes. And now you come crawling back, seeking vengeance. Pathetic.
Do you know what's really pathetic? Killing an innocent, essentially a child, and throwing him overboard too. While he begged for his life. Now that's pathetic.
She leans in closer to you, her good eye sort of locking with yours, glinting with a sort of dangerous excitement. She says, "But you know what, Henning? You don't have to be weak anymore. You don't have to be a victim. You could be so much more." Her eyes are sort of quite hypnotic. "You could join me, Henning. Join my crew. We could do great things together. We could rule the seas, take what we want. We would never have to answer to anyone again."
You expect me to trust you after the last time? We had a deal. I paid you to take me to Port Edron, and that was the deal. And you went back on that, and now you expect me to trust you.
Look what we've built here. Look at the power we've amassed. I did that
Power?
by being ruthless. And you could be a part of it. You could have all the riches and glory you've ever dreamt of. All you have to do is let go of your petty vengeance and join us.
Get me my book, and I'll consider it.
That thing? It's trash, Henning.
I could be a lot more use to you with that book, trust me.
There's things that you could be more powerful to. That doesn't even make any sense. There are things out there that you could amass more power from than that book.
Like what?
Like him, Henning. Do you hear him? She sort of like stands up and almost like it's like she's like trying to listen out towards the direction of the sea. Do you hear his voice calling?
I hear nothing but the waves.
You haven't seen it then. Out there. It's magnificent. Her eyes are glinting. It's almost kind of a crazy kind of look to them. She says, "Out there, the true master. He who resides beneath the waves.
You'll have
He
to
who
ex-
will awaken in the end times of the elves." She goes up to you. "Do you know who I'm talking about?"
No, you're going to have to give me a name, I'm afraid.
"The old god of the sea."
Does Henning know who that is?
She whispers in your ear. She just says, "Kraken."
Kraken.
Yeah.
The old gods are Kraken. See?
We found it in a temple.
Temple. Where?
She stands up and she says, "I would show you if I had the key." She looks at you.
The key. You think I have a key?
The key. The shard.
What shard? I don't know what you're talking about.
Make a deception check.
Uh,
Oh, that was so close to a nat 1. I saw it roll and it almost got to a nat 1 and my heart
Are we
skipped.
allowed to remind people to use legend points or not?
Yeah.
legend.
No, you have to call legend point before you make.
Yeah,
the
no,
roll.
I forgot.
But can I
Um,
remind people?
Yeah, I
that
forget they're a
okay?
thing. I forget they're a thing.
Yeah, maybe it's better to just like have a reminder somewhere.
Yeah, I need to put that somewhere.
Every 10 minutes, someone just write
I
use
always
legend
put
points. in
somebody-
the chat.
Somebody just shout legend points.
She looks at you and says,
Mix it into the
Um,
Bardley song.
"Don't lie to me, Henning. I know that you are responsible for what happened last night, and I know that you took the shard. We've looked for it everywhere.
Have you tried the bottom of the ocean?
The ocean at that part isn't that deep. We need it, Henning. It's the only key to awakening the true master."
Tell you what, you let me go and I'll go get that key for you and I'll bring it back.
No, she says. She looks at you. No, Henning. Your friends will bring it.
What friends?
The friends you came here with. We're not stupid. We've got links all across the city.
How long have you known I've been here for?
Pretty much since you arrived.
Why didn't you come to me sooner?
It's better to deal with information once you have more of it. I figured that it was a mystery how you had returned. But then I was thinking, strange things have been happening around these parts recently. Why couldn't you be another strange person? Another strange event?
Well, my parents did always describe me as being a bit strange.
No. Don't you see, Henning? Being returned from the sea. It's a sign of his return. She walks over to you and she pulls up her sleeve and she shows you that her skin's quite clammy as well. And she reveals like underneath the cloth of her wound dressings, she sort of peels one back, and on that side of her face, it's like there's a red eye underneath there.
You have it too.
Yes, Henning. We've
So
been
you've
chosen.
met him. Have you met him? Vance?
Vance? Who are you talking about?
Never mind.
No. But I've had visions of the sea, of a prison under the sea, opening, and our master being released back into the world and claiming the oceans for itself. We will all be blessed with the means to live under the waves. Everyone else will be cleansed from this world.
Okay. Well, what happens now then? What do you want me to say?
I want you to join us, Hening.
And say I do, what happens then? You want me to go take the key, as you call it, back?
I want you to give it back, and together we can investigate more of this.
Okay. As I said, fine, let me go, and I'll go get it. But you leave my friends out of it. It's nothing to do with that.
No. She shakes her head and she says, "There's no more choice in this, Hening. You either do what I say, or not at all."
And what exactly do you want me to do?
I want you to stay there and be quiet. She leaves out the door and then bangs it shut, and then the door locks. So you're
What?
just trapped in the back room.
Oh,
After
she's just
after-
gone, sorry.
yes, she's just left. So after a while, at the Silverleaf Inn, the rest of the party, a human comes into the inn and says, I've got a letter for a party of adventurers that may be staying here from the Adventurers Guild. Is that any of you?
Yeah, that's us. Can I see the letter?
Aye. It's from Captain Vera.
Do I reckon? I imagine I heard that name a couple times as Henning was cursing her out during the infiltration.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh God, what the fuck has he done now?
Just to let you know, your friend has come by a little bit of trouble recently. I wouldn't suppose that any of you know about it.
I
can
know
help with our investigation.
absolutely nothing. I'm
I
afraid.
don't know anything.
Well, unfortunately, Captain Vera has put it on herself to ask for a little bit of a ransom, I'm afraid.
Oh, for God's sake!
Yeah, I know. I would have that response too, but I am just the messenger, you understand?
Doubt.
I have absolutely nothing to do with this transaction that's going on. I'm just simply relaying instructions that a friend of a friend told me to say.
Sion's
I-
rubbing his temples and is saying, "This looks really familiar."
Can I sense motive?
Yeah, go ahead.
Diplomacy. Wait, is it actually? Sorry, is it diplomacy or?
Yeah, it is diplomacy against deception DC, I think.
Oh.
Isn't it? Something like that? No, I think it might be perception. Either way, it's natural 20.
So
What?
would it be-
You were sense motivating on him saying that he had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
You can tell he's probably just he's part of Vera's crew, but he doesn't seem to be particularly high up in their ranks or anyone of import particularly.
I'm gonna block the door.
All right, you stand by the door. As you do so, Erin shouts over, "No, no, no, no! I see where this is going. None of that in here. I've been a barkeep long enough."
She has been good to us. It would be wrong.
The messenger says, "Now, sir, as an honourable gentleman, I would suggest to you that threatening a humble messenger is against a whole number of codes, including criminal code."
Oh, quit that bullshit! Come on.
How valuable are you?
Look, I need to tell you that I'm not particularly valuable, not compared to your friend,
So
because
we couldn't trade you.
I don't think they're after that, Indra.
I think that personally, I don't think I'm actually that wanted, which is why I was sent here on this mission.
Do you want to join our party?
Who's that? Who said
You're
that?
not there!
It's me,
That's drunk
Keskis.
in the corner.
Join my trade.
Oh, that's very convincing, actually.
Trade offer.
He says, but as an attempt to build my standing within the crew, I have taken it on myself to deliver this important news to a group which I have been warned are rather dangerous. So, if anything, it would be you proving me right to be worried about coming here if you were to do anything to me.
Yes, we are rather dangerous, and you were silly to come here.
No,
Yeah.
he's not. We're not going to hurt him.
Erin
He's
says,
only doing a job.
Erin says, "I will not have any hostages taken under this roof. This is
Alright.
a safe place for elves."
All right, let's take this outside then.
Hang on. Let's just talk a moment about what that exactly means, going outside. Because I've had people say that to me before, and I got injured.
Do you want us to draw up a contract with you?
I would rather that you agree with me that the rights of a messenger to deliver rights unencumbered, to deliver messages unencumbered, should
he
be
has got a
respected.
He has got a point. My mother and father always used to say, "You don't stab the messenger."
Yeah, that's also what my parents said to me. And I have never yet once stabbed a messenger.
I also have never stabbed a messenger.
Look, you don't shoot them, kill them, whatever else, but sometimes maybe rough them up a bit.
No,
Just give
it
him a
doesn't
bit.
need
Give him
roughing up.
Give them a bit of a scare.
He's just done a job. He's not the one that took Henning.
I mean, he's just come
He's-
from his other job of assisting people that are kidnapped Heading. So like,
Anyway, I
come on.
must henceforth move you along slightly.
Right,
I do
let's
need a
come out-
response.
let's come outside and discuss this a bit more, all right?
On the guarantee that I will not be henceforth injured.
As long as you don't try and run or like fuck us about, sure.
The freedom
Jealous?
for a man to run from imminent injury is rather
Are you a
important. to
lawyer,
me.
sir?
I mean, the injury won't be imminent unless you fuck us about.
I actually am Vera's lawyer, which is also a law that you can't injure me.
I mean,
But
I
dealing
don't-
with these criminal types for so long that I'm worried about everyone I talk to.
look,
Are you specifically Vera's lawyer? And is that specifically a law that you're not allowed to hurt only Vera's lawyer?
I am a lawyer. Anyway, right. Let us go outside then and talk about this some more.
yeah,
All right.
Right, so the request for a ransom, then, he says as he walks out the door, is one black shard, and also all of you to come and surrender yourself.
How about one
Give us
black
Henning, and
shard.
we go. You give us Henning, and you get to leave here with both your balls intact.
Is that, are you threatening, intimidating him?
No, yeah, I'm going to try
Are you
intimidating him.
intimidating me, sir?
Are you intimidating me? I just need some clarification before I respond how I would.
yeah. That depends.
Yeah, I'll
if
try
the roll
intimidation.
succeeds, it's
That's all right.
intimidation. If not, it's a joke.
Yeah.
Can I roll or?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. 28.
He says, Sir, I have to warn you that I am rather intimidated right now. So, if you will be a little bit more friendly to my requests, I am not the one currently in possession of your friend, and I don't think your friend would very much like to have his balls removed as well.
This shard seems pretty important. Why don't we meet Vera just slightly off of the ship with Henning, and then we'll trade.
You mean the ship that was destroyed last night in an act of barbarous terrorism?
I don't
Yes,
know
that
what happened. That shit, right?
I
that
dunno.
shit
Where are they
was
staying?
I heard there was some illegally parked ship, and there are a bunch
Yeah.
of no good nicks on it that got.
Well, it was rather suspicious that your friend was caught literally checking out the scene of the crime the day after.
He has a fetish for burning ships.
Yeah.
he does
Well,
like to go. He goes for a walk by the docks every morning.
Unfortunately, Captain Vera's and Henning's histories are too convenient to be a coincidence.
Where are they staying?
To let you know that would be to put my employer.
Then where are we taking the thing she wants?
I mean, to be fair, to not let us know that would be to put your kind of just like look downward.
Vera will
risk.
meet you at the Broken Barrel. Bring it alone. And by alone, I mean the four of you.
Do you know
And
where?
no one else.
Do you know where he is right now or not?
He is in the custody of my captain.
Also,
Where are
One person at a time, sorry.
Where are they?
They will meet you at the Broken Barrel.
That's not
No,
what
you're
she
gonna
asked.
tell us where they are.
Has this become an interrogation?
oh my
Sir.
god,
Sir.
guys,
I'm
we'll
gonna
meet
sum-
them at
I'm
the
gonna
Broken
summon-
Barrel.
I'm gonna summon Hank.
Oh god.
Alright, give him a good sniff.
Okay, Hank goes and sniffs it.
Alright, he's got his scent. Right.
Excuse me, that scent is my private property.
Oh my god.
I could have you sued for that.
Right, well,
At the end of the day, your privates will be my property.
Okay, that being said, he says, "The broken barrel, please, tonight. Goodbye, all."
Nah,
And he leaves.
nah,
Guys,
No.
guys, let's
Not
just
letting
go
him
meet
leave?
him at the
No.
broken barrel.
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
not letting
Hank stands in the way of him and starts growling. He says, "Now I feel intimidated."
well,
Where are they staying? Tell us.
Is this so? This is becoming a bit of a double hostage situation, is it? I am not
Yes.
free to leave.
no,
No,
you're not.
not until
I
You
am
are
being-
being detained.
Am I being detained?
You are most certainly being detained. And now,
You hear a shout from across the outside of the inn. Is everything all right over there? You see two.
Yeah, everything's fine.
You see two Curious guards, human guards, sort of who are patrolling the area.
Yeah, our friend's just a little bit drunk.
The messenger says, "Actually, everything is absolutely not fine. I'll have you know. Please, guards." The two guards sort of look at each other and begin walking over.
Guys, we just let him go. I'll have you know, good sir, I whisper in his ear. I'll have you know that if they take us away, they'll be taking the shard with them. And if they do, then it won't be us that has your rules, it will be your boss. So how about you play nicely?
Yes, Hank.
Hank's still growling. Make
So-
another intimidation check.
Alright.
Legend point.
No, yes, I'm gonna use a legend point.
Okay.
damn.
40.
Okay. So, you hear him sort of shaking. The two guards come over. One of them, a tall sort of captain, who is you've noticed barking orders to a lot of the soldiers around this area. He's got a sword by his side, and he's and the person next to him has like one of those halberd rifle kind of things. He says, "What's going on over here, elves and
Our-
humans?"
Our friend here had drank too much, and he was just sick all over the place. We thought it would be nice to show him a real pub.
"Is this true?" He turns to him. The messenger sort of looks at you, Cyan, and gulps, and then nods to the captain. Captain's going to do a sense motive check.
Do I need to make any roll, or
No, it's because he's making it's his deception modifier.
Right.
So the captain's making a perception check against his deception modifier. Okay. So the captain looks at him and says, "Either way, there's been a lot of protesting and crime in this area, so I would suggest that you all move on promptly."
well, of course, sir.
You hear some shouting from across again. You see a few elves begin to stumble out. "Hey, get away from them! Leave them alone!"
Uh-oh.
Right. I kind of look to the others, like I kind of look back, says, "Let's fucking go."
Yeah, I'm gonna leave.
I'm gonna leave.
Okay. Should we take a break here for 10 minutes or so?
Okay.
Sure.
Alright.
All right, back in bed.
All right.
A drinky?
See you in a bit. Bye.
Hello and welcome back. So just before the break, the party were just doing the last little bits of what they had gotten up to. Vera's ship had come to a bit of a tragic, misfortunate end when Cyan and Hening snuck aboard with the use of Henera's invisibility. Having done that, you set fire to it, discovering there a black shard made of some sort of mirror substance that was almost like a window to the gloom that you can see through. So after a little bit of just faffing around there, eventually Henning was caught looking at the scene of the crime by the crew who had remained, Devo and Con, and as well as Vera and others being around. And they brought you to a undisclosed area, part of the East Harbour, where Vera has a sort of a little bar kind of thing. So, Henning got captured and is now being held ransom, and the messenger who came to deliver the news has now also kind of been held ransom, is being captured as well. So the messenger, after a while, after the guard goes away, the messenger says to you, "I don't know what the point of holding me is. I will not be anything valuable to you.
Hey,
even for a
look out
trade."
for yourself. Don't talk to yourself like that.
Oh no, Vera literally told me that if I am held hostage by you, then I am not to return anyway. So
I mean, if you're going to be held hostage, you're going to return. Like, that's the point of being held hostage. Did she think that through?
no, she would just rather I fight to the death than be held hostage. But just understand that it is my career you are potentially ruining here.
It's fine. Maybe after this we can hire you as our lawyer.
I would not like to be the lawyer for someone who had previously held me hostage. I think there's a conflict of interest there, would you say?
I don't. I think really we're really after the same thing. You wanted to help us get our friend back. We're trying to get our friend back, and you're going to help us.
We've heard about your captain too. I mean, sooner or later, if she thinks you're as useless as you seem to think you are, she's going to kill you.
Yeah, like
I mean,
exactly,
Henning
like,
was way more useful than you, and she killed him.
well, yeah. Well, tried to kill him.
Maybe.
I say I and Calcifer.
I don't know.
Well, if I say so myself, she used to be a lot more reasonable. And as of late, she has been quite fanatically obsessed with certain things, which I did not sign up for in the first place. Let me just be clear.
So previously she was more reasonable, and she still randomly killed people on her boat she didn't think were useful enough. Now she's less reasonable, and you think that's a good place to be.
I had nothing to do with this potential killing thing.
I think you need to sort out your priorities and get a new job.
Honestly. Also, you mentioned she was fanatically focused with something. Is this another cult? Please tell me this is another cult. I've been in the mood to stab a cult.
Well, I'm not really high enough in the rankings of them to know necessarily what their whole deal is. I just was employed by them and have continued with them for a while, but...
Yeah, I think it's time you get a new job. Like, maybe have a look at other boats while your one's down.
Well, that's fine for you to say, Miss Fancy Elf Earrings, but some of us have lived in the lap of absolute disaster all our lives.
I mean,
you're a lawyer, right? You're doing a good job. You could work in somewhere else.
Do you think lawyers get paid much in this city? Merchants bartering over everything?
Sounds like you need to get better at bartering.
Well, we're not merchants. We're lawyers, and lawyers aren't particularly well respected amongst merchants, believe it or not. They don't like regulations very much. So anyway, I don't wish to say I'm bitter necessarily. I get work where I get it, but that means I just have to work with people like Vera from time to time. I didn't mean for her to be a cult leader or whatever she is now.
Right. So obviously you need out of that, right? So how about this?
I need steady employment.
You lead us.
I have a family.
You lead us, yeah, and I'm sure they need a live-in, father, son. Help me out here.
Son?
I don't know.
I'm like 60.
Oh.
I don't know. You could have old parents.
Right. Well, anyway, No, my
Right.
parents are tragically dead.
All right. So how long then until you march those brittle old bones down to where, down? Sorry, that's my name. Down to where, uh, down to where they're holding him, and then
And
you
then
go
what?
on your merry old way, get a new job.
Will you employ me?
I
You
did
come
offer
to that
you.
Mob City with us.
Yeah, I did offer like employment as our lawyer.
Oh,
They're always looking for people in the adventuring guild.
Exactly.
High turnover.
but you're gonna wait. What lawyer stuff do you need then?
Well,
Yeah.
you know, we might get involved in certain shenanigans with certain rulers, and we might need someone to help us out.
Have you registered as an official adventuring party yet?
Well, we've
I think
signed
so.
some papers with Don Iden, right?
Oh, that won't count. They make you do that, so they take a cut of your earnings. No, there is things in law that adventuring parties who work together pay less tax.
See, this is why we need you as our lawyer.
Exactly.
Yes, how would 5% tax be?
I think we need to negotiate this later when we know a bit more about the specifics.
Yes, well, currently you probably haven't been paying any tax because the adventuring company takes it just from your paycheck. So you wouldn't have even known.
Yeah, I'm not sure we've actually had a paycheck yet.
You need to get one.
I thought we got paid in gold that one time, right? Or have we not been paid at all? Wait, no, you have been paid for the first job we did, didn't
Yeah,
we?
John Iden did pay you for a little bit, and he paid
Did
you a
we
little
get-
bit.
Did he give us a paycheck, or
Yeah, I
was it just the money?
He just gave you a bit of money.
Yeah, not sure. I mean, I joined a bit after you guys, I think. So, yeah, I don't think it's been. I don't think I've come to my first yet. It's probably gonna have a few sitting waiting for me by the time I get back. How do they do it if you're not there when payday comes around?
I think you just have to. I mean, as a lawyer, I think they just have to hold on to it until you can claim it.
Huh.
And it works in their interest, you see, because if they have an adventuring party go off, and then they end up dying, well, then they just get all that money back. It's not really lost for them. So
All right.
rather than sending it off somewhere on a boat.
So all I'm getting from this is you're really good. You're telling us a bunch of stuff that we didn't know. See, this is why we're not going to cut your balls off.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're a good man. You're a good man, and quite frankly, I'm very sorry we're doing this to you, but we need to get our buddy back. And hey, once we get our buddy back, maybe that means more money for you.
Yeah. And first thing, with our lawyer something confidentiality, you tell us
Lawyer,
where they're
lawyer,
yeah,
client.
that's the one. Lawyer client confidentiality. See, smart cookie. You tell us where Hening is.
Yeah, but you see that also works for my previous clients, who happens to be Vera.
Nah, they don't count.
I didn't sign a waiver.
It's lawyer client confidentiality, not lawyer previous client confidentiality.
I think you would know more about this than we do, Calcifer.
What I can do, considering that Vera has slightly gone off the rails, is I can ambiently take a walk, and you can follow me. He puts his finger to his mouth and is sort of like.
I see what you're putting down. All right.
And
my legs are getting a bit sore as
if
well. I
it
could do
came
with a
to
walk.
court, you would have to confess that you just followed me to the location of your friend.
I mean that's what we're doing, right? We're just going for a
Right,
walk, right?
Exactly. And
Yeah.
you would have absolutely no contact with me between now and that point. And if Vera asks me, I will deny everything. Of course.
Of course. I mean, we're just taking our dog for a walk.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to ambiently walk maybe 30 feet ahead of you.
Wouldn't she find it suspicious that she told you to come find us, and then, wouldn't it be just easier to say, yeah, no, this guy told us to meet you at the thing, but we were just lying, and then we followed you.
No, because I could just claim that my lawyer ways led me to be very focused on my work on the walk back and not notice you following me. As always, I'm a very dedicated lawyer to my profession. So that being said, I'm about to start walking. Do not come too close, I suppose. He just begins to walk off slightly down the road.
Yeah, remember, I just like point to Hank and just make a sniffing motion.
Okay, Hank begins to follow behind, and then the rest of you.
Okay.
All right. So you continue on. He takes you into the East Harbour, traveling about 30, 40 feet ahead of you at all times. Just like walking slow enough so you can sort of keep up with him. Eventually, he goes to the Broken Barrel, and he just literally just goes around the back of it and into sort of like an underground basement bit. And it sort of knocks on one of the basement doors, leading down to where maybe the kegs are kept. And the door opens up, and someone points their head out and looks around. And then he goes in. And the rest of you see this.
Alright, guess this is the place.
I'm not even playing music anymore.
Alright, how are we doing this? Just, do we knock?
I mean, if they knock, they'll see us. If we knock, they'll see us.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, we're all here.
You could just... I don't think there's a secret way in. I could have a look around, see if we can sneak in. Or you could just smash the door down.
Maybe.
I think this is the kind of occasion where we kind of need you to smash the door down. I don't think there's going to be a stealthy way in. I can have a look. Can I have a look to see if there's a stealthy way in?
Probably in the Broken Barrel itself, there's probably a way to get down as well.
Yeah.
This is like just a back entrance that you saw him go through.
We could try going in the other way. See if there's a way in from inside.
Just, not sure about getting all split up.
Oh no, we could all go as one.
Or we just walk in and be like, oi.
No,
Yeah,
no.
we might have just gone in and told them that we were coming.
You can distract Barkeep. I can palm the key.
Do you want me to make you invisible again?
Sure, but I'd rather you save your spell slots. Really,
I've got
I-
plenty.
I have been stealing for a very long time, so
Okay.
all right.
All right. So what's the plan?
I take it we're going through the inside way.
Well, so I'm just,
Yeah.
so the thing I'm just a bit hesitant about is like the thing is if you go inside and find a route, we still all need to go through that same route, right?
Yeah.
So what is it? You go in, find a route, come back, tell us, and then we all just like barge in and go.
I just thought we were all going in from inside, rather than you waiting outside.
Then what's the invisibility for?
I said I don't need the invisibility. I was basically you two are going to distract the barkeep. I was gonna swipe the key off him because I take it he has a key to where they keep the kegs.
Probably.
And then we can go in from inside rather than
I mean, if it's even locked.
If it's even locked, but you know,
Yeah.
I imagine it'd be locked.
Or did we actually notice if the outside cellar doors were locked or anything?
The outside cellar. So the outside cellar door that he went through, he knocked on it at first, and then he was let in. So there's at least someone manning that entrance. But yeah, I mean, it's either locked or there's someone like holding it closed.
Right. But I imagine because it's in the bar and they're being held up where they have the kegs, the barkeep probably has a deal with them, so they probably let him in. So if we go in that way, it's probably discarded.
Yeah. Only issue is if he knows to look out for us.
That is a point. Okay, we could just knock and barge down the door.
Yeah. Knock. They open. Charge through.
Yeah. Well, if they do open it, they could just.
Do you want to have a look
at us through the
Wanna have a look at the
window?
map?
Okay. Oh, I don't own any tokens with vision.
Oh, hang on.
Oh no, the DLC.
Better?
Yep. Can see now.
I'm just seeing grey.
Much better.
I'm gonna refresh.
Yeah.
So where's the is this the cellar door? That looks like a well.
Oh,
this,
now I'm seeing.
the side entrance is sort of where the cellar door is. So just imagine there's a staircase down here.
Sorry. What?
Am I the representation of the whole party here, or?
No. The rest of the
Because I'm
party.
only seeing my token.
Yeah. So the rest of the party aren't quite there yet.
Right.
This is like if you were going down to the cellar door here. I'll put the rest of the party on the map though. Henera, Hening.
So
Hank,
this is.
Hugo.
Hugo.
Oh no.
Hugo.
No. Sorry. Who have I missed? Have I missed anyone?
Caskets, but I don't know if he'll be here for this.
No, there's no
Ah,
caskets.
okay.
So can you see yourselves on the side here?
Yes.
Just imagine that you're sort of by a nearby alley. So this is like a staircase that goes down here. And then there's like a little cellar door down there.
Okay. Right, so is that the plan then? We just knock.
But what if they don't open the door?
Just get Hank to ram it.
What if it's locked?
Unlock it.
You're good at that, aren't you?
With what?
Aren't you good at that?
I mean, yeah, but if they're putting a crossbow out,
I mean, if they're pointing a crossbow out, then it's open.
it could just be through the little side thing that they use to look to see if they know you or not.
Did they do that when the other guy knocked?
Did they do what?
But did they like? So when the other guy knocked, did they just like open the door?
There was like a little slit that opened up, and someone from
Oh,
inside looked and then just worked out whether to open it or not. We can hear
Yeah,
you.
I'd say
again,
I'd say we go in from inside the bar.
Hmm. Yeah, I guess.
All right, let's go inside then.
All right.
Okay, so you're gonna come around this way.
Come on, Hank. I guess I'll. Just think, should I pull Hank in or have him wait just outside?
It's your choice.
I'll
There is a doorman
I'll bank him.
as you approach. You've been here before, haven't you? Broken Barrel.
Have we?
I think so.
Oh wait, was this
No.
where they were having the Elven Revolution meeting?
No,
No, it wasn't. Him.
We were meeting. Was it Cadell?
Oh no,
Oh,
you
yeah.
met. No, you met the.
Hmm.
You met. What's her name?
Oh,
fantasy.
yeah, the dragon lady.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, so you come back in. The doorman recognizes you, and
I give him a nod.
you all walk in. As you approach with Hank, puts his hand out and says, "Sorry, no large animals."
All right, fair enough. And I'll sort of like walk off round the corner with him, and then bank him, and then come back.
Okay, you come back. He says, "Where did you put him?"
He's just off in the streets, just having a nap.
Very well. I hope he doesn't cause any trouble.
Nah, he's a good boy. Don't worry.
All right, so you walk in. The inn is fairly busy. There's just people sort of around. Someone sat at the piano playing. Let's see, there's this guy. People at the people serving alcohol. People sat just drinking on their own as well as talking. But you walk in. It's just like a regular night's service.
Alright, I'm gonna kind of whisper to Calcifer and Nera. Alright, we're gonna need to get the bartender out so I can snatch his keys. Could one of you cause a scene?
I could sing a song.
One that's going to draw the barkeep's attention from behind the bar. He might just stay there. I'm talking like, punching someone in the face or something. That'll get his
Okay.
attention.
And I punched Calcifer in the face.
Okay.
Well.
How hard are you gonna hit him?
Not very hard.
Okay. So is it more like a shove?
Yeah.
Okay. Make an athletics check. Against Calcifer's athletics DC, is it? No, it's your is it your reflex?
I think shove would be against fortitude.
Against fortitude.
When Calcifer German suplex Hanira through a table.
Right. Well, Hineri attempts to shove you. I think you probably take that if it's a 14.
Yeah.
That being said, you sort of move a table slightly, and it almost pours a drink on someone. And someone stands up and says, "Hey, what's your problem?"
What's your problem?
What's your problem?
I am immediately distancing myself from the others, and I'm gonna sit down by here.
All right. No, you just hear people progressively saying more and more, "Hey, what's your problem?
What's your problem?
What's your problem?" All right. So you walk over to the bar. What are you planning to do to get the keys?
Well, I'm kind of waiting for the barkeep to kind of move out and try and palm the keys.
Okay, yeah, you see the barkeep looking over the crowd and says, "Hey, what's going on over there?" And he sort of begins to walk over and he says, "Oi!" As Hanera and that guy are just starting to bustle against each other. Punches haven't necessarily been thrown yet, but
All right, I'm gonna stealth over and try and take the keys as he's
All right,
over there.
make a stealth check for me.
All right.
Gonna sort of pretend to try and
Is
hold
there
Hanera back.
any bonuses considering there's a distraction going on, or?
Yeah, I'll give you a +2 circumstance bonus.
All right. Public or
No, private. Private GM.
private GM or blind GM?
Blind GM, yeah. Okay, and then can you make me a thievery check? Is it a thievery? A sleight of hand? Is that?
It's thievery. There's no
Yeah,
sleight of hand. It's
yeah,
just
yeah.
thievery.
That's fine.
Oh, sorry, that was public.
That's okay. 18. All right, so you begin to reach town and you begin to fumble with the keys, and the barkeep begins to turn around and you have a chance to slip away.
All right, I'm gonna do that.
Okay, so you just slip into here. That uses your reaction. As the barkeep sort of is stumbling around, and you just close the door behind you. It's like in a washroom. It's sort of like in a little washroom. Are you continuing the pushing, Hanera? Are you escalating?
Do I notice him fail to take the keys? Or...
Make a perception check. Depends what you get. You do. You do see him go up to it, but you do make out that I think he bailed rather than get them.
Okay, I just sit back down.
All right. One of the elves that you were bustling with says, "Yeah, that's what I thought." And goes back to sit with his drink.
Can I have the door open a crack to see if the barkeep's keep an eye on the barkeep?
Yeah, the barkeep's just standing there for a moment, sort of scanning the crowd, and says, "Right, keep it down in there, will you?" He goes back.
I'm gonna try and grab it again just as he's leaving.
Okay, make another thievery check.
Although I don't say it, Hanera thinks to herself, "Wow, I bet he would have liked my invisibility now."
Private GM or
No,
blind?
just regular rolls, fine.
Okay. Fuck yeah!
Nice.
Okay, so as he turns around, the keys sort of spin on his waist, and you just stick you stick your hand out of the crack in the door, and you just manage to unclasp it as he walks away. Doesn't notice a thing.
All right, I'm gonna walk back to everyone else.
Okay, you got it.
All right. So that's done.
I've put Hening on this fucking thing. I just realised all this time.
I've escaped. Let's go.
Bruh.
Henning, where did you come
Wait,
from?
we don't need to do any of this.
Yeah,
Hey.
Henning's just following you around. Like, what are you guys doing?
Hey,
Yeah,
it's fine.
they let me out ages ago. They're actually really nice.
Yeah, I think we should team up.
She apologized.
Yeah, it was all a misunderstanding.
Right. So, the cellar door's over by here, right?
Uh-huh.
It's the green line, right?
I mean, from like inside.
So the cellar door's there, but
Yeah.
so through here, that's probably a bathroom. It's gonna be more around this way. So through this corridor here, by where the bar person is. So maybe where the storage unit is, like another entrance to the cellar.
Right. So we can pass that way on the way to the beds.
Yeah. So you're just gonna go past the barkeep, are you?
Yeah.
Okay. He's like distracted with the customer at the moment. He doesn't see you go by. And yeah, there's like a little cellar door here that you peer down. It's locked. There is a key for it.
I use my key.
Okay. It unlocks with a thrifty click, and there's a little sort of staircase that goes down to another corridor, and you hear voices coming from down there.
All right. I'm gonna put the keys on the side, and I'm going to use Mage Hand to close it when we're all down. So it looks like he's forgotten his keys somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, who? In what order are you going down?
I
What
think.
Wait, no. What if he's in like a cage or something, and we need the keys to open it?
I take the keys back.
All right, shall I go in the middle then?
All right, I'll go first. Mira in the back.
Okay.
Cal in the middle.
Yeah. Once we get into a like sort of an area down there, I'll like resummon Hank as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So you go down. I'll put us back here, shall I? So you go down the steps, and there's a sort of air of tension, really, as you can hear two voices speaking from an office around the corner. But it doesn't sound like Henning's voice. One of them is Vera, and another one is the familiar voice, but you can't quite place it. As you sort of are slowly walking through the tunnel, the sort of basement sort of corridor, you hear one of them say to the other, "Trust me. Have I ever done you wrong?" And you hear Vera say, "No, I don't think you have, old friend." As you peer through, are you all stealthing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you make a stealth check, all of you then.
So is this area big enough for me to resummon Hank?
It's quite narrow, even for you. So it might be a bit of a squeeze for Hank.
So stealthy.
I'm rolling
So
like
I'm
piss. So
I am not good at this. Oh, nice.
Oh, I am good at this.
Okay, so you're all stealthing through. However, Hanera bumps into something, and you hear, and as you go around the corner, Cyan, you see that it's actually Cadell and Vera talking. And as you sort of stood there in the doorway, Hanera bumps into something, and they both look and see you in the doorway.
I look at Cadell, and my like head kind of like tilts, like what? Like, because Saya's not giving like an incredulous look or anything. It's just like, okay.
He stands up and pushes the table away, and he says, "Ah, Cyan, and the rest of you, you've made it. Good."
Oh, you were expecting us.
I was informed that Hening got himself into a little bit of trouble. I've come to put it right, as I did with you, Cyan, before.
Can I sense motive him? Like, he's giving shady vibes right now.
Yeah, go ahead.
What sense motive?
You need to do a
20.
perception against their deception DC.
Okay, public or?
Yeah, just do public. Okay. He's again, as always, he's very hard to read. He always seems to be have a sort of a bit of a smile, like a sneer on his face, like he's like making everything into a joke. But also in the same way, he kind of comes across as really serious as well.
In which way are you old friends?
Vera and I share a common concern, let's say. We go back a few years.
What race is Vera?
She's a human.
You mean the people that hurt Henny are your old friends?
I'm friends with a lot of people who hurt a lot of people. As I'm sure you are.
That's true. Can we have our friend back, please? Pretty please.
He turns to Vera. So what say you? Another favour for an old friend? Vera says, very well. I do owe you. He says, but he's not getting his book back. She looks over at one of the sailors, probably Jivo, and says, all right, you can let him out. And Cadell says, and is there anything else? And Vera sort of looks at him and says, and then looks at the rest of you and looks at like the bag that might have the pouch in it, whoever's carrying it, who has the mirror in it, and she says, no, there's nothing else.
I give a little smirk. Excellent.
Very well, Cadell said. You see Hening is dragged out of the room. Going back at you all.
Hey, buddy. Had a bit too much to drink.
Haha, very funny. You decide to let me go then?
Vera stands up and says, your friend Cadell reminded me of how alike we both are. It would be a shame to keep you here when you clearly have a destiny away from here. Follow your destiny, Hening. You were brought back for a reason.
I plan to.
She turns her burnt side of her face away from you and then goes back into her room and then closes it. As Cadell stands in the corridor with you. Well, I think that makes 2 times now I've saved you. You clearly owe me.
You are a professional badass.
let's just say, are very good at making friends.
Yeah.
I suppose I do owe you a thanks.
I think we all owe him a fair bit more than that.
I feel
That's
a
just
bit.
fine.
I feel a bit weird. Came down here all ready for shit to happen, and now we're fine.
That's what peace is called.
But it's like the tension hasn't been. Never mind.
Yeah, they're probably gonna still come after us. Or
That's fine.
they have some other sinister motive for Hening.
A temporary truce, Akadel says. I'm sure you'll have your lick of action soon enough. It is a long road to the Emerald City. And
For
remember,
sure.
I did say I would keep an eye on all of you. I do not want you getting in any more trouble whilst you're here.
Yeah, quite the
Yeah,
eye.
did you keep an eye on us last night?
Let's just say I've been keeping an
I
eye.
gotta stay side-eyeing.
Well, let's just say I will not be trusting any of you alone, I'm sure. But there'll be enough favours to repay when we get to the Emerald City, I'm sure of it. He sort of looks at all of you.
Speaking of which, when we off?
What left have you got in the city?
I mean,
Hey.
nothing. Cascus might, but he might have already sorted that out while we were doing everything else.
Well then, if you have nothing left, we can leave tomorrow. I have everything prepared.
Okay,
All right.
that sounds good for me.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay.
All right, let's get out of this place.
All right. So, Henning, having been freed, the rest of you, return back to the Silverleaf Inn?
Yeah, and
Yep.
Yeah,
so details, Bill. What the fuck did they want with you that they didn't straight up kill you for what you did?
It seems we share a common ailment, Vera and I.
You mean that ailment?
Mm-hmm. Clammy skin, red eye. They've got it too. They didn't have that before, from what I remember.
Or maybe she's just a very good makeup artist.
Perhaps. But they mentioned something very worrying. Some kind of old god has spoken to them. Kind of kraken? I don't know
Didn't
if that means anything to you.
didn't the dreamers mention old gods?
Does-
Yes, they did, didn't
Does the
That
Kraken?
was
Does Kraken mean anything to any of us?
Kraken?
Yeah,
Yeah, make a
religion.
religion, yeah.
Can I do that as well?
Mhm.
Okay, hang on. Religion.
Legend point, legend point.
Okay. Anyone else?
Yeah, fuck it, why not? Where's religion? I'm trained in this from something, so.
Same, but I rolled a 3.
Oh my god.
All right. So, most of you don't really know that much. Hinera, you recall that long ago, sort of in the Age of Gods, when the world was still run by the elementals, krakens were a big part of the seas, and really ruled the seas. They were very intelligent, and commanded like huge empires, effectively, of elemental beings, and they were sort of fought back. And it's said that one of the old gods is really the god of the krakens. the one that they worship. So at some point in the past, this old god was dealt with somehow. But you can't quite remember. You can't quite remember the name of the old god.
Is there anything else? The dreamers. This cult seems at least relatively related to the dreamers, minus the Acadian use, right? That's what I'm getting from it. Strange cult talking about old gods. Did they talk about anything else?
They wanted me to join them, which I obviously refused.
Did you refuse?
Yes. Yes, I did. I don't trust her. I'm not going to trust her.
Well, of course not. She tried to murder you.
Well, yes, that's it. In fact, that's what I said. So, but I'll tell you now, this is not the last we've heard of Vera.
Yes.
She'll be back.
Well, next time, maybe we put a little pause on these solo walks of yours.
How about?
I just wanted to see the ship.
And if she, pops right in when we're all about, then
She's mine.
maybe that Ed won't last so long.
Well, she's mine, though. I want to make that clear now.
All right, that's fine. Ignis is mine. She can be yours. Maybe we'll all get our own little list of murder victims.
I don't plan to make it quick either, I do. But we can cross that road when it comes.
Okay, so is the plan just to go to sleep?
Yeah.
I suppose.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah.
Leave in the morning.
Okay. Right, so as you fall asleep, Henning, you find yourself in the midst of quite a lot. I don't know, the dream world that you visit as you fall asleep is like a big, plain white, flat landscape that goes on for forever. It's like you're just on a sheet of paper, and it just goes on and on and on. Everything is white. You've got a slight shadow on the floor, and the floor it seems to be made out of maybe marble, like a rough kind of marble. And as you sort of turn around, you see in the far distance, maybe about 100 or maybe 100 meters away, a large podium where there's a heart, like floating. Maybe it's like 50 feet up, and it's like really, really large, and it's just beating there. And it seems to be held up with like floating chains. Maybe it's just held to the ground by some chains to stop it floating away. As you sort of approach it, next to the podium itself, you see Vance lying, unconscious, still smouldering, not giving off much, much heat or flame, and looking quite pallid, quite ill. Vance's skin is sort of looking a bit like yours.
Can I go see them?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. You go up to Vance,
Vance?
kneel next to them.
Vance. You alive? Vance, wake up.
Vance sort of weakly opens an eyelid. Henning.
Happened. Where are you?
Limbo, Henning.
We're in limbo.
It doesn't
You're-
matter.
You're in limbo.
You'll have to free me.
How? How can I free you?
The vision begins to fade. He looks up at you and sort of reaches out and grabs your arm, and you just feel like a burn mark on your arm.
Ah!
Make the sword.
Will.
As he sort of grabs onto you, there's like almost everything turns into white flame, and then you'll awaken in your bed, and it's the next day. This one. The day of you're supposed to leave. As you look down on your arm, where Vance grabs you in the dream, there is like a burn mark in the shape of a handprint there.
Is it painful, or is it just sort of...
No, you don't feel any pain.
Wish he'd stopped scarring me every time he touched me.
Right, you go downstairs for the last time. Whilst in Calrius, meet up with everyone. Everyone else slept quite well. Quite a refreshing sleep before you go, despite the fear of Vera's revenge. As you go downstairs, you notice that there's like a large convoy that has parked up by the park outside the inn. Manning it at the helm is Cadell in a very flamboyant elf kind of cart that looks like a bunch of leaves, with a whole bunch of white horses. Ah, you're awake.
Well, it would seem that way.
Well, when you are ready, we will get on our way. This is a long road to the Emerald City. I'm sure we want to get there as soon as possible.
All right, ready when you are.
Let's go.
He points over to a cart that's behind. It's a covered horse and cart with like long, very large wheels, like wooden wheels. The cart itself is black. It's a human design, and it's got windows that sort of have little blinds on them, so you can have some privacy. He says, "You'll be travelling in this." He leads you over to it and opens up the door and sort of puts his hand out one by one for each of you.
All right, good.
Come in the, style and comfort on the journey as you can have. It is much better than by foot. He smiles. Right, let us go. Cascus has also joined you and comes and sits down.
I imagine Cascus is complaining about something.
Yeah. They don't charge us for this.
I think it comes straight out of our pay.
Yeah. All right, so we'll leave off there then. As you begin to leave the city, the convoy passes through the gates and onto the road, and you sort of have a moment of reflection as you're all sat there looking at each other in the cart, the long journey ahead of you. What comes next? Okay.
I think.
All right. Let's stop there then, shall we?
Okay. See ya never, Calriasians. Do.